Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV, and welcome to the season finale of season 13 of the Simability V8 European Supercars Championship, brought to you live from the home of horsepower. So they call it. It's Sandown. I'm Clyde Whiting, and in the booth with me tonight, and your cameraman also, it is Mr. Pete Bingham. Good evening.
Good evening, Clyde. Good evening, everybody at home.
So let's start off with the track. Sandown. They call it the home of horsepower. The track map that the viewers can see on the screen makes this track look very, very, very simple. But it's not. It's a bit trickier than that. It's a straight, it's a chicane, it's a straight, it's a chicane, it's a straight, it's a chicane. But all the chicanes are different, and you sort of treat each one differently. And I've had a few accidents around here, Pete, and I've not really had the track that long.
I was going to say, that's not a spoiler alert. That's situation normal. Yeah, it's a far trickier track to master than you think. You're right, all the turning angles for the chicanes are different. The way that you fire yourself out of each of the chicanes is very different. It does appear in principle to be a straightforward track, and it's really not. Overtaking here, we've seen it can be quite challenging. It's not a simple track at all, and we've got pit stops in the second of tonight's two races as well. They've proven difficult here in the past, and this was the site last time on the turn that you can see Jamie going through at the moment, of a track blockage, if you remember that, Clyde.
Yes, I certainly do. And quite a comprehensive one as well.
Oh yeah.
Just going back on what you were saying there about overtaking, it's strange, isn't it? Because it looks like it should be a nice, easy track to overtake on. There are plenty of straights. However, if two cars come out of a corner equally, the little bit of toe that you get doesn't really come into effect. The straights are not quite long enough. But what that does do is that brings the good old dive bomb into play.
Yeah.
Slightly later on the brakes, get it up the inside and give the car on the outside a decision. Do you want to turn in on me and risk us both going off? Or are you just going to concede the corner and then try and pay me back with a dive bomb later on in the race?
Yeah. It's it attracts that kind of driving behaviour. It's just such a great track. I mean, they race this in real world. We've seen already tonight. You pointed out, and he's just done it actually, Clyde. Vincent Skilbeck on home tarmac has just taken the fastest lap of this qualifying session. Not by much, but I think there's going to be some hometown advantage, don't you?
It certainly looks like Vincent has probably done many, many, many more laps than his northern hemisphere counterpart, shall we say.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably raced this on other games as well before he got into the simulator.
So. Yes. I would have thought this would have been a staple of video games in Australian racing. But championship-wise, we already know that Simon Trendle is the season 13 champion. But second is still up for grabs. Tony Kloosterman is on 1,924 points. Kenzie Newhoff is on 1,805. So that is still to play for. In the team standings, Team Chimera have got about a 650 point lead over BSTV Esports Green. So although not mathematically done and dusted, realistically done and dusted, but only 200 points behind BSTV Esports Green is NQR Europe. So second place still up for grabs in that championship. The tightest one is driver of the meeting. which is decided by me and you, Pete.
Yeah.
And I haven't had any brown envelopes this week, so
Oh,
that's
right.
disappointing. But Tony Kloosterman currently leads the way with 4 votes. We then have 3 drivers on 3 votes, 4 drivers on 2 votes. So any one of those could take it away. I don't quite know what's going to happen if it's a draw, so maybe we have to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
In the Logan Jackson Safe Driver Award, Simon Trendle has led this for quite a while, but Rob Venn has gone to the top of the leaderboard, and it's worked out on incidents per turn. And I'm not going to go into all the decimal places, but it's very tight, but Rob Venn is winning. And in the Fred Bingham Forever Forward Award, again, Simon Trendle, 14 points ahead of Alex Civiliano Lado, but that can all change in a hurry. A bad qualifying session from Alex and lots of places made up. You just never know what's going to happen. So, still a few things to play for, Pete.
Yeah, too right. I think the safe driver
Not only bragging rights until the 15th of July as well, when we start again.
Yeah, too right. You'd almost say Alex might benefit from starting at the back in order to take that one title. I think Rob Venn's got a very good chance of getting in there on the Safe Driver Award. He is a very safe driver. I was going to comment earlier about Simon Trendle's season. I mean, this has to be one of the most polished performances of any driver, right? He's overtaken more cars on track. He's qualified P1 more times than I can remember a driver doing it. He's won a staggering amount of races, been here the whole time, done tons of practice, but also really safe with his driving. We've seen other drivers do it with a whole bunch of incidents before, fine. So I just think it's probably one of the most polished seasons we've seen of a winner.
Yeah, I think I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I can remember Chris Jackson having a very dominant season. And I can't remember if Johnny Brandon ever had a dominant season or whether his championships went down to the wire. But you're right. You know, he's. We know what a good driver he is in whatever he gets in. But he came to this series 3-4 seasons ago. And at the moment, he's pretty much untouchable. I'm hoping we get some of the other names back again next season, as well as the drivers this season that have certainly improved. And we see one of those scraps that goes all the way to the end again.
Yeah, that'd be great. The TCR season this time has been very won in the last session. Which is great. I think your new Clio League, that's going to probably be a bit of a battle, isn't it? I think it's all looking pretty good for BSTV leagues at the moment. Season 14, it'd be great if it was like this with a few more cars, some of our competitive drivers possibly returning, if you believe what they say and state in various different chats. And that can only be good, right? It's going to be a healthy league if all those people do come back and flesh out this grid. I mean, it started really well, didn't it? We had over 30 drivers at the start of the season. What is the driver count for this one?
We're on 14 at the moment.
No, I mean in total.
Overall, yeah, I don't know.
33 or something.
We've not had big grids at all this season.
No, but it hasn't detracted from the exciting racing.
Oh no. That is one thing that we always say, and is always said to us as well. It doesn't matter how many cars drivers of this quality always put on a show.
Yeah.
Just going back to last night's Clio race, it was a fun race. It was media day. It was testing. We had 8 cars on the track, and at one point, One car was in the pits, one car was in no man's land, and the other 6 had all paired off, and you just didn't know where to look next.
Oop, that was a bit too much curb from Adam right there, and he's in the kitty litter at the end there. And that's part of it, isn't it? This place, it catches you out. We've seen a couple of people spinning on corner exit. We've seen a couple of people taking that, the super fast chicane towards the end of the lap. We've seen a few people taking that a little too robustly. And I think any tyre out of place around here, some tracks are more forgiving than others. And most of the turns on here are reasonably forgiving, but the curbs are big.
Yeah, and there's a peculiar mix around this track of some corners you've got 73 acres to run off into, and other corners you've got 2 inches and then a wall.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not an easy track. The first time I looked at this, I thought, oh, I'm going to like this track. It's going to be nice and easy to learn. And yeah, it was anything but easy to learn.
Yeah, a real challenge. You know what I'm like for my, short-term memory. I'll drift off and go and, do the shopping, figure out which room I'm going to decorate next while I'm driving. With a track with so many straights and chicanes that look the same, and left-hand turns that look the same, I often forget which one I'm on. Ooh, that was a lot of air there from Tony Kloosterman. Maybe that's the way you drive this. Don't know, he avoided that curve but got a bit more air on the next one. Let's see, how long have we got left? We've got a few minutes left.
Yeah, we're about 3 minutes to go.
Let's see if we can get somebody who's about to start a lap. So who's number 91? Oh, it's Vincent Skillbeck. Right, so we'll join him in car, because this is a lovely track to drive. So this is the final chicane. As you can see, pit lane entry is off to the right there. It's weird. Kind of in the last turn. Take the racing line along the wall. I don't know whether you get wall drafting here, like you do in oval racing. Clyde will be able to tell us about that in a minute. And then this one, you tip it in almost blind. It's a very sharp 90-degree turn after a very long straight. This is the next to the chicanes. Bit of curb here, a little bit of curb here. That balances up the first one. And then tip it in, get into that apex. He kind of did. Second gear, fire it out of there. And then this is the not straight, Clyde, along the back here. It goes for a long way. You go up and over this crest. And then you get sighted into the braking zone, which is here. And you tip it into this long chicane, 3-point chicane, and then into the left-hander that straightens you up into, guess what? Another chicane. And this is the one that we started at. Ooh. Tyre off. Yeah, tyre off.
Rear tyre on the grass there by the looks of that.
Definitely. And again, if Vincent can get caught out, and he's probably done this in his sleep 1,000 times, then really anybody can get caught out here.
Yeah, as we said, all the chicanes are different. The first one, if you get that inside curb wrong, it just fires you off into the wall on the outside.
Yeah.
The second one, I think you called it a 3-point chicane. It's really weird because you turn left and you've spotted the rest of the chicane, and you're like, well, I can just straight line that, and that's going to be the quickest way to do it. And then you're up on 2 wheels, and this track just it inches you towards making bad decisions.
Yeah.
Decisions you shouldn't make, but the track goes, no, do it, you'll be all right, crash.
Yeah, it proper draws you in, doesn't it? Just showing it again there from Stephen Phillips' perspective. That looked nice and clean. I don't know whether it was fast. That's the only thing, isn't it? Clean doesn't necessarily mean you're quick. Sometimes the sacrifice of that curb, regardless of how it destabilizes the car, can be the fastest way around.
Yeah, and that third chicane, and I think was quite well shown from in car. Again, if you take too much of that curb, you've only got one wheel steering the car,
Yeah.
and the car doesn't get round the rest of the chicane.
No, and these aren't four-wheel drive. These are rear-wheel drive. They're going to propel you around. Ooh, we're going live here, Clyde. Into the race.
Okay, so let's have a look at your starting grid for the penultimate round of season 13. Simon Trendle managed to wrestle away pole position right at the end there for Team Chimera. Vincent Skilbeck for Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic in second. Tyler Newitt, who we thought wasn't racing, who was going to be watching Le Mans, but there just seems to be a lot of crashing going on, is in third for BSTV Esports Green. Kenzie Newhoff fourth, Hydra Race Racing Forces, and Tony Kloosterman in fifth for Never Quit Racing. Adam Wright, BSTV Esports Green in sixth, with Stephen Phillips Dashhound Racing in seventh, and Woodward for NQR Europe in eighth, with teammate Bob Woodhouse in ninth. Alex Sevillano Lado, Hydra Race Racing Forces in 10th, with Jamie Wilson Team Chimera in 11th. Rob Venn, the third BSTV Esports driver, in 12th. 13th is Nikolai Bogotyrev from NQR Europe, and JB Dejoux rounds out your grid for BSTV Esports Blue.
Well done, Clyde. I updated the rounds in the middle of that. Hopefully nobody noticed. Good job it's not live.
I didn't.
Oh dear.
Oh, Canadian Crispy Bacon is up nice and early today.
Very good. Yeah.
Evening to Mike Frost as well, and Ant's dad.
Yeah, and Evie.
I hope you enjoy the show, and I hope Evie's behaving herself. I hope Ant's behaving himself as well.
Oh yeah, that's a dubious one though, isn't it?
Okay, we wait for the lights to go green.
Everybody's on the grid.
Lots of wheel spin on this grid.
Yeah.
More than usual. Which, watch Simon and Jamie. That's all I'm saying. Lights are about to come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and off straight away. We're away.
Smoke in the background.
Whoa!
I don't think it was
Somebody
Tyler.
No,
It's Adam.
That was Adam.
Oh,
wasn't
who's
it?
that
Yeah.
gone? That's Alex.
Oh, there's two of them. There's two gone that way. Alex and was it Rob then?
Might have been. As everybody navigates through the first of those tight.
Yeah. Side by side at the moment. Drivers trying to find their rightful position, or what they think is their rightful position in this race.
Jamie, I can't work out whether Jamie's given that up. No, he's not. He's up 3 positions. Obviously gifted by 2 that went wild. Adam Wright caught out.
Again.
Yeah.
I was trying to work out how Kenzie had got into the lead, and then realised that Simon Trendle was 2.5 seconds up front.
Yeah, he's shot the roost. We're going to look at that again in a bit, because it all happened in the first turn.
Yeah, and obviously the battle between Kenzie and Vincent. Oh, that was a Simability car.
It's Alex Lado.
Alex. So there was a lot of cars near him. So
it's all going on. It's all going on. Right, this is Tony Kloosterman's moment here. Overtaking Vincent in his own backyard. Or not. Vincent's car is fast. Oh no, he's got it done. Vincent's given up that one. He's got damage at the front, quite heavy damage. I think that was turn 1.
Yeah, and he was very snaky under brakes there.
He was. Tyler's the next one up on Vincent's getting overtaken rather. Oh, Vincent's got real bad car control.
Oh, that was
messy.
Who was that with?
Don't
Is that
know.
Nikolai that? It was either Nikolai or Ant that got into him there after Vincent was already halfway through his accident.
Yeah. This should be it.
Or was it Tony?
No, this is the earlier one, I think. Is it?
No.
Oh no, this.
Yeah.
This is it, I think. No.
No, this is where
off track.
Tony got up to him. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't even an event for the one that we're trying to find, you know. Just people overtaking him. So he gives that up. Tyler's the one behind him. He gets all squirrely under braking. And it's the next sequence, is it? Oh, there he goes, sliding round. So the first two miss him. And then, I think that's Ant.
I think that was Ant, yeah.
Mm.
And that could have been a lot worse.
Sorry for the protracted replay, but it didn't actually trigger an event. We had other things happening though while we were watching that. You called it right. This is a very eventful race already. Oh, rear tyre. Oh no! Oh! That was Ant Woodward.
Yeah.
Sideswipe, so sorry.
He was definitely Tylered there, but to be fair to Tyler, he was a passenger at that point in time.
Tyler's got red wheels. That was Adam.
Oh, yes, it was. Sorry. Even with my glasses on, that looked like 77.
Well, it's not that far away, is it? 27. Right then, so Simon has got himself a 3.25 second lead over Kenzie, who's now got a nice big gap, Clyde.
Yes. So he's got nearly 2 seconds back to Tony. Stephen Phillips. You know what we say about ninja stealth drivers?
Especially ones from New York. Bit of an overtake in the background for Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie on Nikolai.
Nice, clean. You might get another one here because Bob Woodhouse was way offline. Yeah, he's closing in on him quickly. Yeah. Jamie's up 4 positions already. Nikolai behind him is up 5.
Yeah, not
surprising,
really,
though,
is it?
No.
There's been a couple of offs. Obviously, this is the sprint race. We've got the sprint feature race to come.
Yeah. So this is race start. I really want to be looking up here. So look at that,
Yeah.
Kenzie launched brilliantly.
Yeah, it was behind Kenzie. Somebody just floored it and went sideways. I think it was Adam Wright.
There goes Vincent, that's who you saw. So Vincent was off track, tried to rejoin the race in line. Got net coded.
That's where he got the damage.
But it was, I could have walked between those two
Oh,
cars.
yeah, definitely. But I was trying to work out where he got that damage from.
Yeah, and that's what let Simon get so far ahead. That one incident, race start incidents, they're so costly.
Yeah, I say when it calms down a little bit, just go back and watch Adam Wright start.
Yeah.
Or we'll call him Adam Turn Right start.
Yeah. Jamie has passed Bob Woodhouse on track.
Oh, Bob had a wiggle on the grass there.
Yeah, I think this may have... Oh no, he's done this on draft.
Yeah, he just got a better run, didn't he, out of the last corner?
Yep. Nice overtake later on the brakes a bit.
A little bit of a squeeze to try and get an angle.
Yeah.
But gets the job done, nice and clean.
Very nice. Alex Lado has been off track again, but... Right, so... Tony Kloosterman has now got Stephen Phillips in close company, and he's brought Tyler with him. It's going to be a good battle very shortly.
Yeah, like we usually say, as soon as these three start battling, those front two are going to get away. I'm going to keep an eye on the gap between Simon and Kenzie, see if anything happens there.
Car control is very good. It takes all the sweeping, like wide lines into the turns to give a really good run out of the corners.
Yeah, and it's going to have to be, isn't it? And it's going to have to be for the next 22 minutes.
Yeah, can't believe it's only been 8 minutes. Ooh.
Obviously, he wants past Tony, but he's got a fast charger behind him as well.
Well, that fast charger behind him got all squirrely out of the first turn just then.
Easily done.
Right, let's go back to race start. We'll find Adam.
Let's watch Adam from above. I thought the car in front of him didn't go, but that's wrong.
Right.
Your wheel spin.
Oh, he's already burning them before it went green. Yeah. That's a first to last scenario, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then he sails it off the track as well.
So it was Adam and not Rob. Yeah.
So quite a drama-filled race for Adam at the minute.
Well, quite a drama-filled race, full stop. But that's what this track gives you. It's a bit, I don't know, knock hill-ish.
Yeah.
You know, the first couple of laps, the cars are all under a blanket, and one mistake somewhere, and there's a big pile-up. But luckily, we didn't get that. Then we get to this stage of the race where drivers are now trying to get into a rhythm. But this is when you see, you know, who's quick, who's not, who's slowing people up, who's catching people.
Tony's pulling away from Stephen Phillips.
Yeah, he's actually doing a good job there, to be fair.
Yeah, he's taking a lot more liberties with the curbs than the two cars behind him. So whether that gamble will pay off for the full race, or is he going to get caught out by a particularly high curb that punts him out wide like you were describing before?
Yeah, or maybe burn through his tyres quicker than the cars behind. You never know with Tony, do you?
No, it might be. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say I was sort of fearing for him, watching Stephen behind him and then Tyler on Stephen. I'm thinking, you know, it's not going to be long before both of these cars get past him. But he's done really well. He's kept them behind, and at the moment, they're not a threat.
Tony's gamble with the curbs is paying off at the minute, and if he can carry on like that, he'll get himself a nice podium.
Yeah, I was just watching what you were saying about Stephen's lines, and that very wide line he takes into the second part of that chicane.
Yeah.
And it's got that, you know, should Tyler stick his nose down the inside question.
Yeah.
You know, like the one at the Crane of Curbs at Donington.
Yeah.
Where people go out wide to make the most of the turn, and then somebody just shoves it up the inside and there's nowhere left to turn.
Yep, into old hairpin, yep.
Yeah.
I think somebody's greased the track in the last 5 minutes, Clyde. So this is probably the most important one.
That was a hell of a lot of curb
That was a really good save as well. He could have ended
Yeah.
up absolutely minced on that one. So that's the first of quite a number that happened all at the same time.
This is JB. He's gone in there too quick.
He has, yeah. Oh, and then
Yeah.
Vincent got spooked.
Yeah.
That's what caused that. Vincent just decided to dive off the track. They're still going off track. What's going on? So this is another one. I've now got about 8. Adam is gaining on JB at a rapid rate of knots. And
Overcooks it.
yeah.
JB went off anyway.
JB's in a different postcode at the minute. Over here in Sandville.
Yeah, JB's got his budgie smugglers on, and he's on the beach.
And I keep, just so that you know for future, Clyde, if you ever do a broadcast here, every few minutes you get such and such has entered pit road.
Yeah,
and they haven't.
because of that.
Yeah.
It's literally that pit entry there that the drivers use.
So they're all pitting for like 0.12 of a second.
Tyler having a good look at Stephen there.
Yeah. Look how far ahead Tony is now.
Yeah, it's because these two are battling.
Yeah.
We see it week in, week out. Doesn't matter on the track, does it? As soon as two drivers start battling, the driver in front and the driver behind them are rubbing their hands.
Yeah, Jamie Wilson is visibly closer. Just in shot there. And you've got to say, whilst they've both been gifted positions, Jamie Wilson and Nikolai Bogatara are both up 5 places. That's still pretty good going.
It certainly is. Tyler's looking very racy. It's like he's gone, right, Stephen, you had your go at Tony, you couldn't get past him, so I am going to get past you so that I can have a go at Tony.
Definitely.
But Tyler's car is looking very, very lively, shall we say.
Yeah. Cooking the tyres in these cars is probably the worst thing you can do, and you just get wheel spin on every corner, you get very twitchy out of the corners. I mean, I've not driven them for a little while now properly, not in anger anyway, but I think the principle stays the same, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, most definitely. They need, you can get away with it a bit, you know, if you abuse your tyres for a lap and a half, but manage to get the overtake done, you can then defend and cool your tyres at the same time to get them back again a bit.
Did you see him launch across there?
Yeah.
Good grief, that was amazing. Oh, someone called...
That's where... Oh, go on.
Someone called Nomad Theo has a question to ask. Can you ask it?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, go on then. Let's have
As long
your
as it's
question,
not
Nomad.
sexual.
Of course, yeah. Although Clyde is...
Never
mind. Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying? Because I got totally distracted by Tyler sailing it over that chicane.
Well, that chicane is where I'm expecting Tyler to try the pass, because if he can get close enough to Stephen in front and get his nose in, then I think, you know, he's going to give it a go. And to answer Nomad Theo, I don't know him personally, but I know of him.
Yep, I know Simon. Of Simon. Yeah. It's going to be some sort of missing persons question, isn't it? Right, so let's go and find other battling cars. We've got some gaps formed, even between Nikolai and Bob Woodhouse now. There's clear daylight as Bob tries to cling onto the shirt tails of Jamie Wilson there and not let go. JB has been passed by a couple of cars.
Okay, right, so
I think the lead is under threat here for Simon. Kenzie has closed the gap significantly. It's now down to 1.5 seconds.
yeah, but how many times have we seen this?
True, and catching is one thing and passing is a completely different beast.
So let's see if anybody else in the chat can help Theo out. Theo is saying that Simon Underhill is his dad.
Right.
And he looks like he's got a bit bored of iRacing and he doesn't know how to encourage him to carry on. That's a very, very good question. And remembering Simon racing, he's a bloody good driver as well.
Yeah,
yeah. I think you should tell him that he needs to sign up for the new season of this, because you don't get a chance to be bored in this car.
No, even when you're not racing, it's such a massive challenge. It keeps you completely occupied. I mean, if that's the sort of challenge that he's after, then it's ideal. It depends what he's been racing recently, doesn't it?
I seem to remember Simon a lot in GT racing.
Right.
That gap's down to a second.
It is dropping. Tyler still not got any answer at the minute for Stephen in front of him. Bob Woodhouse is definitely catching Jamie.
Tyler is very wily though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's mounted one attempt already, you can tell.
Yeah. This could quite easily be a, do you know what, I'll sit down in for a couple of laps, cool my stuff off and then go at him again. You never know, Tyler.
No.
Okay, lead gap under a second.
Yeah, Kenzie's definitely reeling him in.
Well, let's hope he is. Theo just saying he's sharing this to Simon and he might jump in the chat, so we can all tell him how good this is now.
Yeah, JB's on the pit road, not sure why. Got some ailments of his car, possibly.
Maybe some sand in some naughty places.
Well, yeah. Once it gets in those crevices, it's very difficult to get back out, isn't it?
How much has Kenzie used up to get back to Simon?
Ooh, Kenzie! Oh, he nearly threw the whole thing away. Oh, wow.
You just answered that question for me.
Yep, lots. Yeah, lots and lots. Right, Adam is caught onto the back of Ant, or the other way around, actually. I think Ant's just passed Adam, and Adam's fighting back as hard as he can, but I think he's got quite a bit of damage from his multiple off-tracks and incidents. Of course, if Simon Underhill, I'm talking about now, wants a much more, I don't know, relaxed reintroduction to something entertaining, he could easily join the Clio Cup, right?
I don't think that's going to be relaxed.
Really? Is it that bad? Because I haven't signed up for that.
It was... remember the Spa F4 race?
Yeah.
It was the tin top version of that.
Right. Because that was like 7-year-olds playing football.
Yes.
All mobbed around one bit of track at the same time.
We get 15 to 20 cars on that grid, it's going to be fantastic.
Tyler starting to mount a new attack here, and the lead is at about half a second.
Yeah, And again, I think Tyler's got to try something because Jamie Wilson and Bob Woodhouse are coming.
Yes, they are starting to close that gap. And in fact, Bob Woodhouse is inside a second of Jamie now. This is a good run here, or it should be anyway. This is about as close as he's ever been off that last turn.
Yeah, the toe kicks in about now.
He's having a long look, but he's not willing to do it on this particular attempt. He's trying to force a mistake.
Stephen's very good on the brakes, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think Tyler's trying to send him a puppy here, isn't he? Sell him a puppy, rather. He's trying to force him into a mistake rather than do an actual pass on track.
Stay on board for the next chicane because this is where they've got two totally different lines usually.
Okay.
So Tyler's not as close. There, that's where I expect Tyler to stick a nose down the inside.
Yeah.
It's a high risk move, don't get me wrong, but if it's do or die, then that might be where it happens.
Yeah,
Stephen doesn't cover that off at all.
Adam Wright's just entered pit road. And the race for the lead is definitely hotting up. I think Simon's reacted though. So we'll have a look and see who's got the fastest lap at the minute. It is Simon Trendle on a 107.261. You can tell Ant Woodward's way out of position because he's got a 107.9 under him. Adam Wright in the pits, 107.5. It's been a bit messed up for a couple of races tonight.
Yeah, Ant's position was all down to that coming together with Tyler, wasn't it?
Yeah. Adam.
Sorry, Adam, yes, I thought it was Tyler, didn't I? Yeah. So this lead at the front with 5 minutes to go is under half a second.
Yeah, and I'm trying to yo-yo between the two battles at the moment because this one, I don't know that Tyler's got an answer at the minute. Stephen's playing a cool game, not falling for any of Tyler's fake attempts, as it were.
Yeah, and Stephen's not a driver that you can usually force into a mistake.
No. Oh, there we go. The defensive tactics have been taken. He must have got a bad run off that last corner, but there's nowhere for Tyler to go at the minute. Defensive line into this.
Yeah, so he did defend it that time.
Yeah, that was a proper move to defend, wasn't it?
Yeah, Vincent's just had another excursion.
That's not on my event
nothing
track.
major. No, it was off track, but still on the track.
Okay.
I just caught it out the corner of my eye.
Yeah, JB's been for a bit of off-roading as well. But this car is a monster to try and tame, isn't it? Very few racers that can absolutely master it.
Definitely, you know, again, going back to the Simon Underhill thing and trying to get your mojo back. This is one of those cars that certainly helps with that, because you have to give it respect, you have to learn it, you can't arrive and drive it. You have to practice. You have to put the seat time in.
I can only believe that Vincent's going through the pit road
I
to serve.
think that is a yes. It is.
Okay.
That is a drive of shame in front of his home crowd.
Yeah. Look at them, they're not entertained. They're just all stood still. What's going on? Right then, are we closing in on... No, not yet. Won't be penultimate lap this time, will it? Because it's only a 1 minute lap, really.
Yeah, I think we'll get another couple, to be honest.
Yeah. Ooh, Stephen got a bit bouncy over that curve. Kenzie's no nearer to Simon.
No, and Stephen, I think he's starting to feel the pressure.
Yeah.
It's not cracking him yet.
No, definitely not. He's not making any overt gestures to break the toe now. He obviously feels that the gap he's got is safe enough to get him to the next corner, because that's all you need to do. Tyler takes a huge amount of liberties going over that centre. Oh, look at that, Clyde. That was sensational.
So close. It's side by side.
Oh, Stevens slammed the door shut there.
Yeah. The chicane sort of ruins the battle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You haven't got that side by side through the corner.
Yeah.
One of them has got to cede for the next one.
All nice, fair racing though. Love it. Look at that though, Jamie and Bob Woodhouse. Jamie's looking at this going, I could get fourth here.
Yeah, they're going to have one lap, I think.
Leaders, a bit further around the lap. I think is this going to be the last lap?
No. This one is, yeah. They're
oh,
going
no,
to get the white
Kenzie!
flag. Going to get the white flag now.
Right, okay. Kenzie literally throwing everything at it as Barney's got his flag on the big wave there. Right, this is it then, Clyde.
Yeah.
Kind of 4 cars-ish for fourth place, more like the 2.
Yeah, it depends what happens with Stephen and Tyler. There's always the chance that they take each other out and the two behind benefit. I don't think they're going to get close enough to be involved in a car-on-car battle, but they're certainly close enough to pick up any scraps. Twitch from Jamie there.
Yeah. Doesn't take much, does it, on a track like this? So it's Tyler now taking the big sweeping lines into some of these to get the better drive off. Jamie's definitely closed in. There we go.
Yeah, Simon Trendle crosses the finishing line in first. Kenzie Newhoff second. Tony Klusterman in third. Drag race to the line. But Stephen Phillips drove very, very well there. No way past him for a good half of that race there for Tyler. I'm sure the pair of them would have thoroughly enjoyed that.
Oh, without a doubt. Even if you've not taken a position when racing's that close and that clean, you're all right with it.
Exactly, yeah. And
look at that!
again,
somebody's nicked some of JB's car.
I think he used it to go surfing. We say this about this league, but then so do other people. In this league, you can trust the drivers 99.9% of the time to have good races like that and not get the sort of shenanigans that you get in official racing. Anyway, your round 18 result. Another win for Simon Trendle for Team Chimera. Kenzie Newhoff pushed him all the way for Hydra Race Racing Forces. Tony Kloosterman with another podium for Never Quit Racing. Stephen Phillips, we saw that battle for a good 15 minutes there, finished fourth for Dash Hound Racing, and Tyler Newitt, no way past him, in fifth for BSTV Esports Green. Jamie Wilson in sixth for Team Chimera, and Bob Woodhouse seventh NQR Europe. Teammate Nikolai Bogotyrev in eighth. Rob Venn came home ninth for BSTV Esports Green, and Alex Sevillano Lado, Hydra Race Racing Forces, finishes 10th and will get the reverse pole for race 2. And Woodward finished 11th for NQR Europe. Hometown boy Vincent Skilbeck 12th for Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic. JB Dejoux and half of his car 13th for BSTV Esports Blue. And last but not least was Adam Wright, BSTV Esports Green. Sorry. Ant has just put Gerald as his name, and I'm trying to think, what is he going on about? And then I remembered it's his dad. Yeah. That just totally threw me. So, start of the race, Pete, we see many incidents, which it's the track.
Yeah.
It's not the drivers. The feature race, we always say, feature race 60 minutes, that's going to be a lot calmer. We know it's not. It's basically 2 sprint races in one. There's a lot of opportunity, as people like Jamie, Nikolai in the last race, just to name a couple, there's a lot of opportunity to make the most of other people's mistakes around here.
Yes, and even more so in this second race, because we've got a reverse grid and there's going to be, in theory, more chance of getting a mistake done. And also the pit stop. Pit stop's been a key feature for certain races in a number of our leagues. We see one of the BSTV cars, it was Rob Venn. Oh, no, it wasn't. It must have been Tyler. No? That only leaves Adam. Yeah, there we go. Practicing pit lane entry. And I think that's key here. It's very sharp. You've got to lose all your speed. It's not a massive reduction in speed because you've only just come out of a chicane. But yes.
Can we get on board with anybody that's practicing a pit stop?
I think the next one's likely to be Rob Venn. Oh no, he's just come out of the pits. I think he's going to be practicing race starts. Tyler might be the next one, so we'll jump on board anyway. The lap 1 incidents here at Sandown. We've had a number of races here in a number of car types and classes, and they've all had incidents of some sort. I think it just lends itself to that. And of course, V8s in the real world, they're not the most gentlemanly of drivers, are they, Clyde?
No.
No. It's like Aussie rules football, if you know what I mean. There we go.
No, he ducked out of that. The only reason I asked is because I'm fairly sure I have done some horrific pit stops here.
Right.
I know you're right. You're coming out of a chicane. You're going into the pits, but it's like the yellow cone hides and then jumps out at you as you go past it, and you look down and you're like, oh shit. Yeah. I wonder if they saw that, and then you think, well, of course they did. It's a game.
Let's see if we get a pit stop here. No, they're all going to do this to me now, aren't they? Not the first time. No. Okay. There's a theme here. Yeah, dear. It's funny stuff when you're trying to get a shot of it. So yeah. Good evening to Gerald and Evie watching Ant. You didn't get much to watch in the first race, did you? But we're hoping for better in this one. He starts just outside the top 10, doesn't he? With Alex taking the reverse pole. So these guys
open another apple juice.
Ah, nice. Is it a Thatcher's apple juice?
Could be.
And for those of you that have been living under a stone for a while, the 14th season of the TCR Challenge Cup starts this coming Wednesday. I can't even remember what the first track is. I'm that bad at what I do. So I'm literally going to go and look it up now. It's at Lime Rock Park. It's classic layout. That'll be a brilliant race, actually. It's been a long time since I've been to Lime Rock Park in any league doing anything. You were there last night, weren't you?
Yeah, Lime Rock last night in the Clios. I do enjoy Lime Rock Park.
Yeah.
I think it's a very underrated track. In serious need of a major overhaul by iRacing.
Yeah, it's been around for a bit, hasn't it?
Especially with the cameras.
Oh, right, okay.
My only advice to you is probably the best camera you'll find is Chopper.
Really? Deary me.
But yeah, it's a track. Again, it's very. It's
Here we go.
like
Here we go,
this.
Clyde. Here we go. So you've got to
Yes,
stop.
They made it. They
pit
made
lane
it look
speed.
easy.
Yeah, but the cones are not in pit road. The cones are on the track.
Yeah, Lime Rock. It looks very easy. It's a lot more technical than it looks. It can easily bite you. And there's some great overtaking opportunities, and there's also some what look like great overtaking opportunities that end in disaster. So, yeah, I shall certainly be. Am I away next week? I don't think I'm away next week, so I will certainly be tuning into that.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to get a decent sized field again. Very healthy last season. So if you fancy a bit of front wheel drive as opposed to these rear wheel drive monsters, maybe it's for Simon Underhill, who knows. Then see the website, BSTV.com or BackfireSimsportTV.com, and get yourself signed up for the league. £15 gets you a place on the grid, and then who knows, we need somebody to pry Sam Blease's hands off that trophy at some point soon. 2 in a row for Sam Blease. But it went down to the wire this season with Gary Craig and a couple of others, Spencer McCarthy, yeah, all duking it out for that one.
Yeah, and starting next Friday, it's our all-new series, the BSTV Clio UK Cup. It's looking and shaping up to be pretty good. We had the media day last night, as we were saying earlier on. Not many cars, but absolutely fantastic racing. And the big bonus with that is, if you want to know the answer to this question, is Pete better at driving than cameras? Then sign up and find out. And this series, it will be back for its 14th season.
14th, yeah.
We have a season every 6 months, so we've been going 6.5 years.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
It's fantastic. It really is.
Yeah. 15th of July. Registrations will be opening next weekend if you like what you see and you want to have a go. Pre-warn, it's not an easy car to drive, but the community is fantastic and there is all the help out there that you could possibly want. And the next gen V8 cars in the pipeline. We still don't know when they're going to be released. Obviously, we will adopt them once they come out. So all of those series you can find on our website. So we're going to go again, Pete. I better do the grid magic. So your starting grid for round 19, the final race of season 13. Alex Sevillano Lado goes off on pole for Hydro Race Racing Forces. Rob Venn second, BSTV Esports Green, and off third is Nikolai Bogotyrev for NQR Europe. Bob Woodhouse goes off fourth, NQR Europe. Jamie Wilson fifth, Team Chimera. Tyler Newitt sixth, BSTB Esports Green. Stephen Phillips seventh, Dashhound Racing. Tony Klusterman eighth for Never Quit Racing. Kenzie Newhoff ninth, Hydra Race Racing Forces. And race one winner Simon Trendle 10th for Team Chimera. And Woodward goes off 11th for NQR Europe. And Vincent Skilbeck, Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic, goes off 12th. JB Deju, BSTV Esports Blue in 13th. And Adam Wright rounds out your grid for BSTV Esports Green in 14th. So, as you saw in race one, watch the cars in the first chicane. If it's going to go pear-shaped, that's where it will happen. And I will even get the yellow flag ready. Just in case.
It wouldn't be the first time. We're waiting for 3 drivers to join the field. Kenzie, Alex and Adam. Adam's starting from the back. That's going to be an interesting recovery drive for him. Kenzie and Simon, 9th and 10th. That's going to be an interesting fight to the front. But you've got some fast drivers at the front here, Clyde. You've got Alex, Nikolai, Bob Woodhouse, Jamie. They're no slouches.
Exactly. It's going to be an interesting run. Who's going to get the better start? Can one of these two at the front get clear and make it easier into turn one?
All on the grid.
We're about to find out. Lights are coming on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're green.
Oh, Alex got
a
blinder.
Great start by Alex, yeah.
Wow. Oh, no, there's a Tyler going sideways.
That was a sideways Tyler, but everybody round the first bend.
Ish. Oh, no.
Oh,
that was Tony.
Yeah, that was
getting turned. I think he was a passenger in that one.
Yeah, he held on to that really well, to be honest.
We're about to go 3 wide back here, which is why I'm lingering towards the back. This is Stephen Phillips, Kenzie and Simon Trendle all heading towards this triple chicane. 3-point chicane, whatever you want to call it. Simon Trendle away! Nearly, not quite.
Somebody had have a go at it.
Yeah. Right then, let's have a look at the front.
They're all single file now.
That was a really dramatic start. That was brilliant. And these cars, they look like a standard saloon car, really. Ooh, Stephen, where you going, mate?
Out wide. He's going to lose that position. Oh no, no.
No, he's on the. Oh, he's taking big liberties with these curbs. Good grief! I mean, they are stacking up behind him now after that one.
Yeah, that was getting out of shape, wasn't it, and then staying out of shape.
Yeah.
A bit like me.
What are you going to do tonight? If you've got no Katie, you've not got any cake. Oh, you got that box of chocolates, didn't you?
I've got my box of chocolates, yeah. Then it'll probably be Le Mans with matchsticks holding my eyelids up.
Yeah, how are you watching that? Is that Premiere or something?
No, it's on Eurosport.
Ah, right.
So, Crispy Bacon is asking, what happened to the spinny wheel thing to determine the grid for the second race? So, we used to have one server for the first race and a second server for the second race, which meant that we could do the spinny wheel thing, and the reverse was random. However, it was a bit of a pain in the backside for drivers because they've got to remove themselves from one server and join the next server. Once iRacing sorted out what they call heat racing, we've been able to adopt that. However, the downside is when you set the session up with both the races in, you have to say how many cars you're going to reverse. So it's not a surprise anymore.
Right, let's have a look at how Simon handles Stephen.
Well, Stephen has definitely held him up because you can see how far Kenzie is down the road.
Yeah.
But Simon's going to sail it.
Oh, there's a bit of inappropriate touching, but...
Yeah, just a bit of trading paint, that's all.
That was nicely done, though.
And just to finish that conversation off with Crispy, it would be very nice for iRacing to add a random option for the grid-in version for subsequent races. I might even ask the question. I did like the spinny wheel thing.
Yeah, I did. It gave a much more dynamic element to it, and you know, you don't get wobbly like purposefully finishing 10th, do you?
Exactly. So I'm expecting Vincent Skilbeck to climb up through this through the standings, providing he doesn't have any accidents. But the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are all within 1 second of each other.
Yeah, they are. It's a bit stacked, isn't it? Something's got to give at some point, or possibly someone has got to give at some point. A lot of the drivers that started at the front...
Okay, scrap that. The top 13 are now within a second of each other.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's a bit mad, actually.
You can see how quickly Simon Trendle's closed up there on Kenzie Newhoff once he got past Stephen Phillips.
Yeah, he's definitely, as Bill would say, haul in the mail. Oh.
Okay, we've got a new subscriber, Pedro Silva. Welcome to the channel. And Woodward, what has happened there?
I think that's technical. Potentially.
No,
that is,
not again.
That was the end of the exercise, even though it looked like the front of it, or the beginning of it, rather. This is how it transpired, I believe. Oh no.
Ooh.
I think he had a helping hand.
Yeah, there was something a little bit weird there in the middle of the corner.
You want to go again?
He was certainly slower than he should have been.
Yeah.
Or did I see something that wasn't there? It was like his car sort of jinked to the right.
There.
No, perhaps not. No, I think that was all Vincent, to be honest.
Yeah.
and Andy's rage quit.
Right, and Andy's popped in here. Rage quit and punted. Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I see it, it looked like Ant's car had a funny little twitch mid-corner, but it wasn't there the second time. So, yeah, definitely all Vincent, that one.
So, it's still busy right at the front, though.
Yeah, and Crispy's saying that Nikolai is taking liberty with one of the chicanes, but no slowdown. If it's a chicane I'm thinking of, I don't think there is a slowdown unless you're massively over the line.
Yeah,
But I think it's an incident point every single time.
yeah, I think it's that 3-point chicane we were talking about before. Tyler was doing it earlier,
Yeah,
sailing it over the middle bit.
there's quite a bit you can take there, isn't there?
Yeah.
But it does get you at some point.
I'll tell you what, I'm probably going to regret this because I'm probably going to curse him, but big shout out to Rob Venn, who's been in second right from the start. And we've done 8 laps here, and he's holding his own really well.
Yeah, and you can see it on your screen right now. The top 6 are all together.
Yeah.
The 4 behind close up, fall off, close up, fall off. But I think that's Kenzie trying to get up through the fields. Because Stephen Phillips, somebody up the front there, I'm going to guess it's Kenzie, must have made an error.
Okay.
They got all together and they had dropped Stephen Phillips. And now these 4 are slightly off of Jamie Wilson, and Stephen Phillips is on the back of Tony Kloosterman.
Yeah, there's been a bit of something go on. Nothing that's triggered anything on the event tracker, but that's not the first time, is it? It's getting a bit tasty just in front of Kenzie here now.
Yeah, we're only just coming up on 10 minutes.
I know. What the hell? I mean, I know it's green, Adam, but it doesn't need to be a John Deere, does it?
He just got that all wrong on the exit, didn't he?
Yeah. He flew into it.
It was probably straighten it up or end up facing in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Massive train of cars here for first place. 8 cars. Soon to be 10.
You know, what are they thinking? Are they thinking, as a win it, I could win this, I could win this? Are they thinking, do you know what, if everybody's going to behave themselves, I could just sit in this line and save some fuel, but then everybody else is saving fuel apart from Alex?
Yeah, and Jamie Wilson went really super wide at turn 1. I don't know, do you save much around? Well, I suppose it's the same as any track. It's the way that iRacing treats acceleration, isn't it? It's the level of delivery and the potentiometer rather than the actual amount of gas that you're delivering from the car. So yeah, you can save fuel around here. So I'm just watching the behaviour of Simon Trendle's car. He's got damage on the right hand side from that altercation earlier.
Yeah, well, there was a bit of paint traded, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So that's unsurprising. So as I said before, evening to Pedro Silva on the chat. He's cheering for Kenzie and Alex, and evening to Mary Jackson.
So that was Tyler with a slowdown.
Yeah, that would have been just it was literally what we was talking about a couple of minutes ago, and that's chicane. There's a very fine line between taking a liberty and getting penalised. So he's managed to shed that penalty and stay in the train. Choo-choo!
Yeah, 10 cars now for first place, Clyde.
Yeah, I see exactly what Crispy was talking about there with Nikolai, and that is that same line that Tyler's taking through that chicane. And if you get it right, there's time there, and if you get it an inch wrong, you've got to slow down.
So, just on the screen at the minute is Stephen Phillips trying his best to get past Tony Klusman, but gets the curb got the better of him there, Clyde.
Yeah, that was foot to the floor on the curb.
I mean, this is just crazy. You know, we've done 12 laps like this.
Vincent is about to join the back of this train.
Yes. Oh, dearie me. Air and track temperature we need. Hang on. This one should give us that. So, track temperature is 20 degrees, so nice and grippy.
31 the track, air temperature is 20, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Right then, as Vincent claws his way back forward. No change here. I don't think anybody can get round anybody, and they're all too scared of losing places at the same time. Because this is basically, if you crash out now, it's like crashing on lap 1, isn't it? The whole field's going to pass you.
Yes. And you're probably going to take 3 or 4 other cars with you.
Oh dear.
Chris Jackson asking, how are you gents in the booth? I'm alright. Pete's a lunatic. Apart from it's hot.
Yeah, very hot.
Us Brits don't like hot.
No. Betty Swallocks here.
There's no perfect temperature for us. It's either too hot or too cold.
I didn't know you could bring damage from the previous race into this one. You'll forgive me later. No, we have just had an overtake done in this massive train. Oh, it's still going on. Hang on, I'm going to go back live actually.
Yeah. It's Jamie Wilson.
It's 3.
It's Tyler Newitt and Bob Woodhouse.
Yeah. 3 wide to turn 1. Who is going to live? All of them, because they're all great races.
Well, Bob did really well there and sailed it in and braked really late.
After all of that, there was no movement, and the 3 cars ahead of the field got away.
Something happened to Tony Klusman.
Well, oh yeah, just as you were saying it. Oh, he got stacked up, and then a little nudge to put him round.
Yeah, to be fair, that was nobody's fault.
Nah, racing incident, that one. And what can you see from under the rear wing of a car in front?
Exactly, yes. That is the downside of close quarters racing.
So back to the rabble.
Yeah, and it's only the top 10 for the win now.
Oh, that curb keeps getting people. It's brutal, isn't it? Tyler's going to lose a position there.
It's bigger than it looks.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I think Chris Jackson's just trying to wind that up now.
Yeah.
Do not adjust your set, Clyde. That is Rob Venn leading.
He's
just done the overtake. I'll show it in a minute.
I literally watched it, as you mentioned it, I see it change on the timing tower.
I was just a bit late getting to the action.
So, what happened? Did Alex make a mistake, or has Rob pulled the blinder?
Oh, Alex is super wide.
Yeah, he was slow there, wasn't he? Because he was so wide, he had to get out of the gas. And Rob's taken full advantage, thrown it down the inside.
Now he's got that really uncomfortable feeling I get if I ever lead a race. It's just
so
weird.
You haven't had that feeling very often.
Well,
then.
no, maybe once or twice ever.
But Rob's in the lead, but he's not going to be able to get away.
No, no, he's the one going to be burning up all the fuel, cutting a hole in the air for everybody behind him.
The top 5 are evenly matched drivers.
Yeah.
The quicker drivers are behind them, but can't go anywhere.
Yeah. We're going to have to wait for the pit stop shuffle, I think.
It certainly looks that way, doesn't it? So do we think Ant Woodward is going to quit the league and then sign up for next season?
Of course.
Yeah.
He's got previous.
He has.
So we've got...
For a whole week.
Yeah. He loves it too much. So 3.4 seconds covers the top 10 cars.
Yeah, that's Adam Wright, isn't it, in the background? He's not really making up much on these in front of him.
Well, don't forget, they're all driving V8 supercars and he's driving a John Deere tractor.
True, very true. It's probably the ribs on the tyres that are slowing him down.
Yeah.
So, who's in prime position here, do we think? We know the 2 big fuel savers in this field are Tyler and Simon, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're both on the same bit of tarmac behind Kenzie. Look at that, nobody can go anywhere, they've just got to follow each other through. It's quite funny. They're literally all waiting for a mistake.
Yeah. You know, if you're behind the wheel, it's funny, it's frustrating. Your mind is in overdrive because you're trying to work out, where am I better than this car in front? Oh, what is that car behind me doing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so difficult to race like this.
Especially when you've got no decision-making time in front of you.
No.
You're literally under the massive spoiler of the car in front.
Yeah, and you're praying that 3 cars in front and 3 cars behind are all going to behave themselves.
Yeah.
Because if it happens anywhere in there, it's going to affect you. And we've seen it in the past. There's lucky drivers and there's unlucky drivers. 6 cars in front of you can crash and you can hit every single one of them. Or 6 cars in front of you crash, Moses parts the sea and you sail through the middle and take the lead.
Yep. So, Rob Venn is your race leader at the moment, although Alex is wanting that position back by the behaviour of his car. Nikolai Bogatyrev is commanding the 3rd step on the provisional podium. And then we've got Bob Woodhouse, Jamie Wilson, Kenzie, Tyler, Simon, and Stephen Phillips. Ooh, and Vincent's at the back of this queue as well. I get what Adam's saying on there. He didn't want to do damage control for an hour after doing it all in the first... Ooh, who's that gone to pit road? Doing it all in the first hour. So Tyler's blinked the first.
Okay, so I'm told pit window is... What lap are we on?
20.
That's a bit early.
With a bit of fuel save, is that doable?
Well, yeah, most definitely, yes. I was expecting between lap 22 and 32.
Okay, yeah, so 2 laps of the fuel is quite a lot.
But
for these things, yeah.
He has been stuck in a train for 20 laps. And we know Tyler can save fuel when he's driving on his lonesome, so...
Yeah, Alex pushed Rob through that corner then.
Is that going to drag anybody else in?
Well,
because anybody that pits now is going to come out clean air.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
There's
we've got a
another
taker.
one.
It's Kenzie.
There's another one. That was Kenzie.
So they are peeling off one at a time.
Yeah, we need to watch timers lap time. So top lot are doing 109 flat to 109.2.
Yeah.
We need to see what Tyler and Kenzie can do. Reboots, clear track. Ben still happy leading laps.
Yeah, so we've got 8 cars back to Vincent, and Vincent's the next taker.
Yeah, see the rest of them, they could end up all coming in together.
Yeah.
And all coming out together.
Tyler was the first of our people to stop.
Yeah, I don't know. Was this a fast lap or was this an out lap?
It was a fast one.
Out.
Oh no, it was an out lap. Sorry.
No, that was a fast lap.
Oh no, yeah, 108.0.
Second quicker than the leaders.
Well, there you go. You would suggest that that's a good call, then, wouldn't you?
Yes. Stephen Phillips.
Yep. Next one to visit pit road. So these two are out. But Vincent Skillback is quite a distance behind Kenzie.
Yeah, but don't forget Vincent was on the back of that train, wasn't he? Whereas these two were a bit further forwards.
Yeah, I think he's taken on a bit more fuel as well.
So 107.8 there for Kenzie.
Stephen Phillips has just been overtaken by Vincent Skillback, so that's worked out for Vincent over Stephen.
Rob Venner's pitted.
Yeah. So race leader to pit road. Oh, well, he wasn't the race leader. Whilst we were watching some of the pit stoppers, this happened. On the previous lap. Is this a massive send? No, it's a very well controlled bit of braking. Nicely done, Alex.
Yeah, I actually thought he was going to run out wide there, but that was a better move than I thought it was.
Very nice.
Oh no, sorry, I thought that was a mistake there from Bob Woodhouse, but he was pitting. Along with Nikolai, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, SDK wouldn't let me go live again for a minute there.
And race leader as well.
Yep. Alex is in. That puts the two Chimera cars at the front of this race.
So they look like they're going along.
So what are the benefits to this, other than now they'll have clean air?
Yeah, they've got clean air and they will have a shorter pit stop, in theory.
I think they'll have the same pit stop because it's the same distance. If it was 2 pit stops, then yes, you're going to...
No, because what you do is you save fuel in the first stint.
Right.
Which makes your stop shorter, and then you don't save in the second stint, if that makes sense.
Okay. We've got a variety of pit stops.
Pit stops?
Yeah, whatever that is. Pit stop stationary times. They're quite broad.
Let's make it a bit more intelligent, shall we? A plethora of tactics.
Yeah, let's do that. JB getting out of the way there for the race leaders, who have gone again. Nobody's gone into pit road this time, so that means that still owing us a pit stop is the 2 Chimera cars on your screen. Adam Wright, who's way back here, the car in front of him there, JB, still owes us a pit stop as well. You can tell because he's still not got a bonnet on it. And then Tony Kusterman, that's everybody after that.
Yeah, I'm watching the Chimera battle. It's quite tasty, actually.
What's going on here?
Oh.
Hasn't he already been in?
Yes, he has.
Don't get it. What? Is that a penalty? No. I don't understand what just happened.
No, I didn't see a penalty, but that doesn't mean to say it wasn't one. It was like a stop and go.
Right. What do you get a stop and go for?
I don't know.
It's not speeding in pit road, is it? Cause
no, that'll be a
40 seconds.
Yeah. Unsafe pit entry exit.
Maybe pit exit.
I'm sure he'll let us know.
Let's have a watch. So, would that constitute... Hey? Oh. Let me try and find the right car, that'd help, wouldn't it? Oh dear. It's one of those days. I have lots of them. There we go, let's try that again. So that looked fine.
Yeah, nothing, definitely nothing there.
Diddly-diddly-dee, up for tyres.
Let's see where he blends, see if there's anything there.
Wasn't speeding. And that looked fine as well. No idea.
No idea on that one.
We need to get back to the action quickly because these two have closed in on one another again after the pit stops. So we're still owed a pit stop from Jamie, from Simon, from Adam and from Tony. Tyler, at the moment, is the lead car of all those that have pitted. But he's in close company with Kenzie now.
Yeah, I think Ant could have won this if he'd have stuck with it.
Oh, without a doubt. is in pit road at the minute, doing his stop.
Well, Simon either can't or won't get past Jamie Wilson.
Yeah, I think this may get done in the pit stop window. Or pit stop itself, rather.
We're definitely going to empty the tank, those two.
Yeah, what did you say the upper window was?
Lap 32.
Yeah, we've got a couple of laps till we get to that. The leader, Jamie Wilson, is on lap 31 at the moment.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we can add a couple to that, maybe, from the draft train for the first part of the race.
Definitely possible. I don't know whether the damage that Simon's carrying is affecting the car and therefore its fuel usage. Probably not.
It shouldn't do. It was a side-to-side scuff, wasn't it? It's normally front-end damage that does that to you.
Yeah, Rob then a little bit down the order compared to when he entered the pits. So he was running second as he entered pit road, and he's now about 7th. No, Jamie Wilson, but not Simon, has entered the pits.
Yeah.
Tony's followed him in. Simon Trendle is your race leader, gets himself a point for leading a lap, I think.
So Tyler and Kenzie, in effect, is the battle for the lead.
Yep. Jamie Wilson up to speed before Rob then gets to him. Tony Kloosterman, he'd already had some issues spinning around in traffic earlier, or getting spun rather.
We do have a couple of drivers who are in double figures on incident points.
Right. Again, that was a feature last time we were here, if you remember.
It was,
oh well,
yes.
It was fueled by the big crash at the start, but you know, a couple of seasons, I think it was, ago for that, or maybe it was. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was when the track was first released.
Yes. So at the minute, a lonely drive for Simon Trendle and for Adam Wright. They're the only cars that haven't visited pit road. Inexplicably at the minute, Alex Lado has been twice. We're not sure what that stop and hold was.
And talking of new tracks, both of our new tracks for this season will feature in V8's next season.
Alright.
Colin Trendle is in. Willow Springs will be in the first half of the season. Weird little track that is. And is it Aragon?
Aragon. Which I always thought was more of a bike track, but never mind.
Yeah, it is, definitely. But yes, that's in the second half of the season. Schedule will be released for proper next weekend, because we're following the official schedule. There's obviously 4 or 5 races that we don't know what track that will be at yet, but we'll release all the races that we can.
So I don't think this has worked out terribly well here for Simon Trendle and Jamie.
I suppose it depends on how you look at it, doesn't it? They are further up the field than they were.
for Simon, yes. For Jamie, I don't think so. Because Tyler Newitt is now your race leader after pit stops, and he's got quite a lead with Kenzie.
Yeah, but I think Tyler, Kenzie, Nikolai, Rob were all in front of Simon and Jamie. All the pit stops.
Right. I don't remember where Jamie was. I know Simon was further back.
Well, sorry, no, Kenzie wasn't, because it was Jamie, Kenzie, Simon, because Kenzie was in a Chimera sandwich.
Right.
But I think it's a net gain for the pair of them, but obviously not right up at the sharp end where they was hoping it was going to take them.
Right, so the next conversation then is about pit stop stationary times. So the top two, Tyler and Kenzie, were stationary for 20 seconds, just over. Whereas everybody behind them, Stephen Phillips, Simon Trendle, have done 23 seconds, call it. That's a lot of fuel. And then Jamie Wilson, all the way back to Tony Klusterman, pretty much, have taken 25, 26 seconds worth of fuel and tyres. So,
yeah,
it's quite a...
But Kenzie does tend to underfuel, doesn't he, with the second stint?
Yes.
Tyler probably pitted a couple of laps earlier than we expected, but at the moment it's paid dividends, and we know he can save fuel. But we're going to have to wait and see how hard these two race each other, and also can Simon Trendle close that gap to him, because Simon can make them drive faster than they really want to.
Yeah, Simon Trendle, with fuel and brand new tyres, has just got himself Stephen Phillips' position of third place. Fairly easily done there, you'd have to say.
Yeah, tyres make a lot of difference, don't they?
Yeah, massive.
So Simon is just under 4 seconds behind Kenzie. So let's keep an eye on that gap. There's 20 minutes to go. Will probably come down rapidly for a little while. Obviously these
Pass
were
for the lead, Clyde. Is it or isn't it? Is it? I think Tyler's got the optimal line into the second part of this.
Yeah.
Into the chicane.
They both did well there.
Yeah.
That would have been very easy for Kenzie just to sail into Tyler, use him as a brake, help turn the car and say bye-bye. But Simon is closing on these rapidly at the moment, which you would expect.
Yeah. JB's just had his car nicely fixed.
Yeah, just too much speed in.
Yeah. Didn't hit anything. All good.
If JB needs to try a bit more front brake bias, that might help him if he carries too much speed into the corner.
That does mean that the back end will whip round on you a bit quicker, though.
No, that's usually the other way. If you've got too much rear bias, the rear will try and overtake the front.
Right.
Usually a bit more front bias usually means you need to brake slightly earlier. But it is a bit more stable if you have to hit the brake pedal hard.
Oh, Tyler, where are you going?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
he's well out of shape there, and he's going to get a slow down for that. I'd like to see that again.
yeah,
It
you
did
can
look
have
like a
that again.
stint, but
I don't know. It looked like a decent overtake, but he
yeah,
carried so much speed through the corner. He couldn't get it slowed up very easily. I was trying to see if Simon's going to take the chance to also get one over on Tyler, because his tyres will be red hot now. He's having a good look, and he's having it. And Tyler's let him have it as well. Right, let's have another look at that pass. Kenzie on Tyler. It's quite a way back, so I think you're right here. He closes right up.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what that looks like to me.
Looks
That
like
looks
Tyler
like
trying to give him the
Tyler.
corner. Sorry.
No, I think Tyler lifted early. I think Tyler's fuel saving,
Oh, right.
and Kenzie took advantage of it.
Yeah. But then Kenzie's got the same job to do because he stopped for the same amount of time, in theory. But anyway, we'll soon find out, I'm sure. Right.
Yeah, but Kenzie stopped at least a lap later, didn't he?
Kenzie. Yeah, one lap later.
Yeah. So he put the same amount of fuel in theory, but has less of a distance to drive.
So, quarter of an hour to go. And Simon Trendle, all of a sudden, crawling all over race leader Kenzie Newell. Ooh, that was that was a bit crossed up, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was nearly crawling all over the barrier on the side there. Obviously, Simon's tyres are going to be in great shape compared with Tyler's and Kenzie's. But it's getting to use that tyre advantage. You would guess on the exit of a corner is probably going to be Simon's best chance at the moment, and getting his nose up the inside for the subsequent corner.
Yeah.
Just by getting better drive off of them newer rear tyres. But let's throw this into the mix.
Go on.
Kenzie is very difficult to overtake.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's not shy about putting his car in a defensive position, as Tony Kloosterman gets on the inside of Rob Venn, gets that move done. Nice. Clean. That puts 3 MQR cars on the same bit of tarmac. Thought he was going then.
Yeah, it is one of them. You know, you could just break a little touch later, get your nose up the inside, and hope that the other car has seen you.
Yeah.
Because if they turn in, there's an accident. If they've seen you and it spooks them, it's job done.
Mm-hmm.
Budgie or something.
Me?
Yeah.
I've got the window open and I've got quite a lot of birds in the garden. It is boiling.
Well, you could have just been tweeting.
Right, so Stephen Phillips now has got a sniff of the podium here.
Yeah. So I'm still convinced Tyler went 2 laps too early.
Right. This is
rare old NQR battle going on here, isn't there?
yeah. It's Bob Woodhouse.
Bob on Nikolai
Yeah.
with Tony bringing up the rear.
This might be a four-way for first place, isn't it?
Ooh.
Jamie Wilson's done really well out of this as well. He started 5th in this race. He's still 5th.
Yeah, I don't think Tyler's got enough stuff left to get up to the front two.
Right.
But I think Stephen Phillips has, if he can dispatch Tyler.
Yeah, he's having a real long look there. He was nowhere near being able to do it, but Tyler's gone wide. Smoke from Kenzie's car in front. Oh no, smoke from Simon Trendle's car in front. Wow.
Oh.
You want to get this framed because you don't see much of this, do you? Simon Trendle off track.
Yeah, but what happened?
Yeah, we're about to see. So he's come round. Oh, he's had a bit of a send on that one. I think that's all self-inflicted.
Yeah, I think he realised it as well, didn't he, halfway through the move, because you see him lock his brakes up.
Yeah. Nice little spin to get pointed in the right direction though, so.
Oh, that was close though.
It was. So he's way down now in 9th place. And that puts Tyler back into 2nd. Stephen Phillips has got himself a podium that he's after, but one step higher would be nice, wouldn't it?
But well,
Could be 2.
could be 2. 10 minutes to go.
Yeah. Tyler's gone defensive on him. Oh, and Tyler's vanished. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, he wasn't full Bingham.
No, not quite. You got to try and achieve that. There we go, though. He's got on the good side here as well. This will be done before the entry to the corner.
So I honestly don't believe Tyler's got much left.
So, are we going to see a Stephen Phillips win? Jamie Wilson's clawed his way onto this group quickly as well, look.
Yeah.
So, can Stephen close that gap in, what, 9 minutes? Just under?
Just under 9 minutes, yeah. It's about a second.
And Chris Jackson's coming up with all sorts of theories on fuel saving from Kenzie and from Tyler to bring to the end of the race. It looks like Kenzie's found a bit of mojo. He's just extended the lead out a little.
Yeah, if you ever watch one of our broadcasts and then scroll back through the chat, Chris Jackson covers every eventuality, so he's right.
Yeah, at least one of them's got to be right, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Has he done the one where Sandown spontaneously combusts and nobody wins? Right, so Kenzie there, not wanting to put too much steering angle into the wheel, went a long way around. Seems to pay off for him though. He's extending the lead a little further, a couple of tenths more.
Yeah, fuel concerns me with Kenzie,
Right.
but he's not driving like he's concerned, so maybe I'm thinking a bit too much into that.
So Tony Klusterman has made his way to the front of this NQR queue. And Simon Trundle's now starting to make his way through it.
Extending that gap.
Yeah, it's up to 1.5 seconds. Chris has decided to share with us that he thinks he's good on fuel now, as soon as he's putting that in. Oh. Right, so Jamie didn't just catch up with Tyler. Wow, he's miles back here. Has Tyler done something? Oh, he has. Oh, wow.
I think that was Stevens. I don't know whether Tyler was braking late or Stephen was braking early, but the closing speed between Stephen and Tyler there was amazing. And I think Tyler had to press the brake pedal harder than he wanted to.
Yeah. He got very crossed up. Good save, though. Good recovery.
There's a second place here for he who wants it most.
Yeah, and 3 to fight for it as Simon Trundle locks up going into one of the chicanes. He's there in the background. So how much time he's lost? An entire straight, Clyde.
Yeah, you know, he could be driving angry now.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't make mistakes.
No. That's why I was saying you need to get that one framed because
yeah.
it's so rare. .5 seconds. Is it? Yeah.
It is, yeah.
So Kenzie romping off now. Tyler wants his third place back.
Yeah, well, he's got teammate Adam Wright closing on him as well.
Yeah, and Adam pitted about as late as anybody, right? Later than everybody. So his tyres are the best of all of them at the minute.
Oh, this car is a real
It's all over, isn't it? It's like an uncontrolled Viper at the moment.
Oh, and we have our first drive of shame.
Who's that?
It won't surprise you.
Is it this one?
It could be.
Oh, that's sailed it in there, hasn't he?
And to be fair to Vincent, he's done really well because he's been on 14 for about 30 minutes.
Right, okay. Oh dear. Oh, he's doing it now. He's just finished it, actually.
Tyler sort of having a look at Jamie.
Do you think he's trying to, with confidence, tell Adam that he doesn't want him to overtake?
Oh, he's sideways off of nearly every corner now.
Yeah, that can't last, can it?
And it's doing Stephen Phillips the world of good.
Definitely. I mean, this is a great drive from Adam, isn't it? He started dead last.
Yeah, it's been a very quiet move up through, hasn't it? Obviously, his 4 new feel goods have really helped him in the latter stages of the race.
Yep.
Although he was a bit wild there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to take out his teammate then. throwing everything at it at the minute.
Yeah, leader has just started the penultimate lap.
Okay. Trundle on Bob Woodhouse. As long as he gets it slowed up enough, he'll be done with that.
Gave Nikolai a sniff on Bob there as well.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay, so this is all closed up again. So we've got a four-way fight for 2 podium positions.
Yeah.
Leader is about to take the white flag.
Yeah, he's taking it. You can just see it in the distance. There it is. Kenzie's got a massive 5-second lead now. And here comes Jamie Wilson. Or not.
Oh, you had to really slam him on there.
Yeah. Overall.
Stephen's going to have the preferred line here.
Or is he just
Tyler's
gone crossed
up
up?
the inside, over the curbs. Jamie's
Wheel spin from Jamie. Tyler's trying to give it back, I think.
Adam's going, yeah, go on, I'll have that. I'll have that.
Tyler's given that position back. I'm assuming that's what was going on.
I think so, yeah. I think Tyler took too much curb and bounced into Jamie, but Adam Wright is in the grandstand seat here.
Oh, that's going to be a penalty, I think, there for Jamie. Cut track. Adam slots himself in front of his teammate. Stephen Phillips is giggling.
In the meantime, Kenzie Newup has come across the line to win the final race of the season. Stephen Phillips second.
If any of them were on high incident points, they may lose positions there.
I think they got away with that one.
Right. Oh, Vincent.
I am going to double check.
Yeah.
Oh no. I think that just pushed Tyler over the limit. So, yes, Tyler will definitely get a penalty for that.
Alex decides he wants to remodel the car.
Okay, I need to save the replay.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do, if you can run through the finishing grid in the background, I will get the results uploaded so we know where everybody finished in the season.
Certainly. So, your race winner for the final round here at Sandown in V8ESC's Season 13, the last round of this season. It's almost a shame to see it go, but Season 14 is due in a month's time. Watch out on all social media and our website for joining up for that one, or the start of watching it if that's what you prefer. So, Simon Trundle won. No, he didn't. That's the wrong heat. That's the last heat. Pete did a boo-boo. That's not a surprise to anybody. Kenzie Newhoff won the final round for Hydro Race Racing Forces. Stephen Phillips came second for Dash Hound Racing as Kenzie does burnouts on the start-finish straight and donuts. Third and final step of the podium went to Jamie Wilson of Team Chimera. That's a great result. Adam Wright was fourth for BSTV Esports Green, tripping over his own teammate Tyler Newitt in the process, who finished fifth. Sixth was Tony Kloosterman for Never Quit Racing. That's a good recovery drive from Tony. Simon Trundle finished seventh for Team Chimera after getting it all a bit wrong, battling with Kenzie. Bob Woodhouse finished in eighth for Never Quit Racing Europe. His teammate Nikolai Bogatara finished in ninth behind him. Rob Venn finished in 10th of BSTV Esports Green after leading for such a long time. Alex Sevillano Lado finished in 11th for Hydro Race Racing Forces. Vincent Skilbeck finished 12th for Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic. 13th was JB Dejoux for BSTV Esports Blue, and Ant Woodward quit out in a rage quit, but he's fine about it. For NQR Europe, 14th and last tonight.
Excellent. So I think I have just managed to get everything updated. So let's have a look at those final standings for season 13. And we'll go through the top 3 in each championship. So in the main championship, as we already knew, Simon Trendle came home first with 2,847 points. Tony Kloosterman claimed second, 2,144, and Kenzie Newhoff in third with 2,083. In the team standings, Team Chimera win that with 5,206, BSTV Esports Green second, 4,476, and NQR Europe in third with 4,231. Driver of the meeting is still to be decided. Safe driver for season 13, Rob Venn. Second, Simon Trendle, and third, Bob Woodhouse. And the Fred Bingham Forever Forward Award, Simon Trendle wins that with 55 position gained, Kenzie Newhoff with 48, and Alex Sibilano Lado with 38. So let me find Discord. There's Discord. Okay, let's get that up. And who do you want first, Pete? Would you like series champion Simon Trendle?
Yeah, go on then. Why not? Right. Good evening, Simon. How are you doing?
Evening. We're in the right place this week, are we?
Yes, all good. So, Sandown. Let's talk about that first. Race 1. Talk us through your race.
What happened in race 1? Right, yes. I didn't get a bad start. In fact, I've now not had a bad start for 2 seasons, so you can leave me alone on that one.
Just Jamie then, okay.
Then there was, God knows what was happening behind me.
Yeah, you romped away. You got yourself a lovely tidy gap.
And then I found out.
Yeah, go on.
And then I found out that the setup I was using was basically the modified qualifying setup, and it sucked in the race. So Kenzie caught me very slowly. I was thinking, I don't like this very much. I want this race to end. And yeah, he got close to me, but it's really hard to pass around here. You've got to have a significant run. But I was able to keep the car at least pointing in the right direction out the corners, which helps.
Yeah, and in race 2, your team tactic was to last it out for as long as the fuel would last in the first stint. And that, whilst I thought it hadn't worked out for you initially, Clyde was convinced otherwise, and he was right. You romped up to the back of Kenzie's car, and then had a bit of a moment in the first chicane, I think it was.
Yeah.
Got a bit too. I kind of surprised yourself, is the way that myself and Clyde interpreted it.
Yeah. So I'd loaded the original setup that I used last season, or whenever we last raced here, and I've used in all the officials. Mm-hmm. So I was much happier. The car was working well. It wasn't dying on its tyres in the second half of the race. Yeah, I stacked behind Jamie and just saved the fuel. Really, I didn't really want a short pit. To me to run as long as possible because the car holds on quite nicely on that setup. Mm-hmm. And yeah, when I got to Kenzie, and I thought I know he was saving fuel, so I was having to be a little bit cautious going into the corners, being too close, because I didn't know if he was going to lift and coast, in which case I was going to go into the back of him. Which is why I pulled out sometimes down the straight, or if he was going to go flat out, and if I lifted, then obviously he'd pull a gap on me going to the corner, so I was being a bit cautious. And eventually I thought, no, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to get right up behind him and I'm going to slow him down. Let's see if I can pull him back into Tyler and Stephen and Jamie behind, and then maybe Jamie can get a benefit from it. And about the second lap I started trying to do that, I had that run into the first chicane, and yeah, that's the first time I've been on that part of the track and braking, and I got it wrong.
Right.
So I snatched the brake and was trying not to hit the Kenzie, so that means you got a lot of lock on, so when the car actually then grips back up, it went around, and I was then trying to reverse without reversing onto the racing line, and then power sliding the car around and
Oh, that was very efficient. It has to be said. Great.
hoping everyone has simmed me.
Yeah. And whilst it was close, it was safe. But let's talk about something a bit more tantalising. So you secured it last race week. Well, series champion. Again, how does that sound for you?
That's pretty good. It's obviously it's not easy by any means. Adam's fast, Kenzie's fast. People just had worse luck, put less effort into it than me. Maybe I do put some effort into this car because it isn't easy to drive. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens next season. I'm not the fastest. There's people who are faster than me. I'm just this season was all about consistency, and I think today is my drop round, and I won a race. So
yeah. You say about consistency. You're one of the safest drivers. Rob Venn is the only one with a better record this particular season.
Nuts. Did he beat me on that?
He did.
That was Silverstone. That was because I was getting really clumsy in the second race.
Right.
Too many off checks.
And you've got the most overtakes of the season. So you clearly can pass people cleanly and efficiently. You've won a whole bag full of races this season, including, like you say, one tonight, even if it is your drop round. But congratulations on a fantastic champion season again. That yellow banner will be there forever. And hopefully we'll have some different faces in, as well as the guys we've got now, for racing next season, because wouldn't that be a blast?
Yeah, and if not, then hopefully the new cars arrive and I will suck in those because I don't know them.
Nobody knows them though, so
either way,
that'll be fine. It's a level playing field all round when that happens. I can't give you any more applause than what you've got. You've got the team championship sewn up as well. A great team effort from Team Chimera, and Jamie did well tonight. He's got himself a podium.
He did. I mean, I gifted it to him. I'll take that away.
Whip that rug right out from under him. Why don't you?
But yeah, the secret to Jamie's success is if you put me behind him, he goes really fast. It's very annoying when you're trying to practice or trying to overtake him, but it does seem to be if you put someone behind him, he'll suddenly concentrate and actually do well. So
yeah.
Maybe that's the secret.
Right. Okay. But no, brilliant stuff. Anybody you'd like to shout out to or thank regarding your racing tonight and your championship victory?
Yep, the weather for Simulation Australia. It's very nice of it. This won't make any sense to anyone, but my freeze for my cold drink, which will make Jamie laugh later on when he hears it. And you guys for the broadcast, everyone who turns up. Simability for sponsoring the league, who hopefully they are going to stick around because they do great work. And that's it. Cheers, guys.
Awesome stuff. And well said. Simon Trendle, your championship winner for season 13 of the BSTV V8ESC Championship, sponsored by Simability.
Okay, so I am going to bring in somebody that I think has done really, really well tonight. Stephen Phillips, welcome to the booth.
Hey guys, got me mid.
Hello. So, a fourth and a second. Are we extremely happy with that, or do we think it could have been a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I was hoping to get by Tyler in the second race quicker than I did, and then as soon as I got by, Kenzie turned the jets on and just disappeared. So I think he was fuel saving. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. I love this track, so it's always fun to do well here.
Excuse me. So yeah, let's race one. So qualified 7th, finished 4th, and involved in at least 20 minutes with Tyler sitting inside the trunk of your car.
Yeah.
But not managing to find a way past you. At that point of the race, was it eyes forward? Was it eyes on the mirror? Was it one eye forwards, one eye backwards?
It was definitely eyes in the mirror. 'Cause I roasted my tires trying to put some pressure on Tony and force Tony into a mistake, and you just can't do it. He's stone cold. And then Tyler was right on top of me immediately afterwards, and so I let the other guys go and was just worried about keeping Tyler behind me. And I think Tyler showed his hand a little bit early, and so I knew where he was going to try and make a move, and so I just needed to make sure I had that covered. And yeah, the race was more or less squared away from then.
Okay, and second race, again, you had a decent pit strategy. It looked at one point that you was out of it, and then the cards were sort of falling in your favour. I must admit, at the end, I thought, you know what, I got a feeling he's going to win this, because I thought Kenzie was struggling with fuel, but it looks like he probably managed to save enough in that little episode where you was battling, and then, like you say, lit the afterburners and he was gone. But second place is a cracking result in it, and hopefully you can carry this form into the new season, if you're going to join us, because you're driving as we always knew you was a good driver. You have your fair share of bad luck. You also have your fair share of luck that you bring on yourself when you get bored because you don't like the track. But this season, it seems to have come together a bit, and you're consistently up there and consistently quick.
It's just been a fun calendar with the exception of Daytona, it's just a really fun race. I didn't think at the start, I think I was like as low as 10th or 11th. And I just felt I kind of got like freight trained, and it's like, oh man, I really need to catch the draft here. So I was kind of scrambling to use up some tire and some fuel just to catch back up to everybody, so I could then fuel save. So I think if I had stayed connected to the rest of the pack, then I maybe could have done a little bit better. But Kenzie was just so fast. It was hard to do much better for me, I think, than second.
Well, I think wins are coming. You just got to stick with it, and you'll get there. So, end of the season. Any end of season shout out you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for continuing to do this, staying committed to this format and this car. We really appreciate you. Giving a platform for us as a community. So that's awesome. The series sponsor, Simability, and Tony today. I'm sorry, man. I tried to check up, but there wasn't really anywhere I could go. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on some great racing tonight and some great racing throughout the season, Stephen Phillips.
Thanks, guys.
Right, who do you want next? They all want an interview tonight.
Apparently so, yeah. Kenzie's muted. Let's have Jamie. Might as well do the top three out of the feature race. Good evening, Jamie. How you doing?
Hello. I am extraordinarily sweaty.
Why is that then? It's cool here. Not really. It's boiling.
So warm in that castle.
Yeah, that was funny. Where did you come in the first race? Was it 4th or 5th?
I don't know. I'm old. I can't remember.
No, neither can I. We'll let Clyde tell us in a minute. What?
6th.
6th, right. I've given you far better than you earned, apparently. Anyway, but then a sparkling podium in the second and feature race. Tell us about race 1 first. It was a bit of a brawl, wasn't it?
Well, both were, really. No, it was, to be honest, it's all a bit of a blur now, because, to be honest, I was listening to Le Mans the whole time. So, I think I got, thinking back, accessing memories. So, that was the one where I was kind of in a void, if I remember correctly. So,
for a time,
Vincent
at least.
had his moment at the last corner. I picked a direction to go which coincided with him then spearing across, so I had to panic brake. About 3 cars went through, and then I had to sort of recover through that. That then split the field, and so I ended up at the front of that little pack, but with no chance to catch anyone ahead realistically. So,
And then,
it was
sorry, go
a
on.
case of just like metronomic driving, no mistakes to try and to keep up though still. So it was interesting in its own way.
Yeah, and still successful. And then race 2 happened, and you were immediately part of a 10-car race train for first place, really.
Yeah, it was that was manic. It may appear from the outside as if we're all kind of follow the leader and backing off and all that. We're not, or I'm not. That was absolutely balls to the wall the whole time, and yeah, that was a really interesting race. With people pitting too early, questionably, and then when I was going to pit, when sort of our window said it was going to open, everyone tripped over themselves trying to fight to get in the pit lane. When I got there, and I was like, okay, Clyde logic, do something different. It's kind of forced upon me, so I ended up going long instead.
Right, okay. So not the original plan, but a successful one nonetheless. Simon says he's gifted you third place by screwing up his own race at that point. So
yeah, he did beans it. So.
Yeah. So you can poke him in the eye later for that statement. Because I think you thoroughly deserved that third place podium finish in the second race. It was dramatic to watch. It was awesome. I thought you'd both gooned it, leaving it so late. But then those new tyres, I hadn't expected the new rubber to be as effective as that, and you pulled a blind of the pair of you. So let's talk about other things. Team championship, all nice and secured. Well, pretty much last weekend, but definitely, obviously, this weekend. So congratulations on that front.
Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic performance from Team Chimera this year. Where did you end up in the standings overall? You were 4th. I mean, well,
really?
It depends.
That can't be right.
Where did he end up, Clyde?
Yeah, 4th.
4th, yeah.
Bloody hell.
I know. And that's
lie down now.
yeah, that's Jamie's closing statement on coming 4th in the V8ESC Championship. Bloody hell.
Never
like
downer on
I
it
was
and
like
say
7th or something.
you could put a downer on it and say Kenzie came 3rd and he did 27 races less than Jamie, but
dear. Never a more British statement for winning a championship than bloody hell. It's said from a castle tower somewhere down south, Clyde.
exactly. The flag.
If this is a castle, you must be in a shed.
Oh dear, it's funny. So
Makes Clyde in a Portaloo.
yeah, floating out to sea in Norfolk. So anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and prepare for season 14, which is just over a month away.
Yeah, thanks to Simon for just schooling the rest of us, but particularly me, literally,
and gifting you a
faster.
podium,
and ballsing up today and giving me the podium, and not being smug about it at any point during the season how bloody quick he is. Yeah, thanks to Andrew Wood. I know his participation got a bit kiboshed by real life commitments in the end, but yeah, he showed a lot of determination to get better, and he's looking to come back next season to continue that trajectory, and hopefully life kind of works out more in the favour of him in terms of scheduling. And yeah, the usual thanks to you guys for putting this on, and all the sponsors and everything in the background to make it happen, Simability and so on. And yeah, the rest of the field. I mean, even today, Le Mans on, everyone's watching it in the background, whatever, but we all still turned out. And yeah, hopefully some of the initiatives that I know are going on in the background will push some participation up in the coming seasons.
Yeah, without a doubt, that'll happen. And great to have you racing with us, the whole of Team Chimera. And we'll look forward to you joining us for season 14. Jamie Wilson, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so I am going to bring in Mr. Tony Kloosterman. Welcome to the booth.
How you doing, Clyde?
Not too bad. So, 6.5 years later, 13 seasons later, second in the championship and still bagging podiums. How long are you going to keep going?
Until they put me in the grave, I guess.
It's you've been with us from day one, a couple of championship seasons, and I know you haven't won it this season, but if you look back, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, you was nowhere in the championship, and you've strung some decent results together, and second from where you was must feel a bit like a win.
Yeah, it's been a good second half of the season for sure. Second place in the championship is more like a participation trophy, I think. There's a lot of guys that were missing weeks and would have finished ahead of me. So, I said at the beginning of the season, if I could be top 5 or 6, I'd be very happy, and I think I accomplished that.
Okay, and team championship. Now, I know you haven't had much in the way of help, but the NQR junior team, obviously headed by the world's fastest Welshman, as he's told us on the chat, they've done really well, haven't they, this season?
Yeah, they certainly have, and it's a good group of guys that work well together, and it's nice to see they push each other. It's a shame Nikolai isn't going to be back next year. He's decided that he needs to take a season off for personal reasons. So we're going to have to do something else with the team, I think.
Okay, well, you've got still a couple of decent drivers in that team. I don't suppose we've had any confirmation on whether Mary will let Chris race next season.
The leash is very short, very short.
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem. So next season, what can you do? What can you do to make yourself a championship contender again?
I think if I can have a full season, like I had half a season, that probably puts you in the running. Outright speed, I don't have the speed for Kenzie or Simon. They're just on another level. But I seem to hang around. So if I can hang around all year, then the results may show something different at the end of the season. A little bit of luck.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely points in consistency. Okay, so end of season. Any end of season shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, Glenn from Simability for sticking with the league. You guys for doing the broadcast. All the teammates, obviously, and just all the competitors. The ones that showed up week after week. I was just saying in the waiting room that we all collectively need to do a better job on recruiting people and see if we can get some bigger grids for next year, because we certainly have a very good league, good competition, and we just need some more numbers.
I second that. Well, thanks again for being around, and we'll see you next season.
Thanks, Clyde.
Okay, Pete, we're starting to run out of people, but we've still got a couple left.
Right, okay. Who am I getting this time? Kenzie. I'll take Kenzie.
What? Take Kenzie. Yeah, he won a race and he's not muted anymore.
He's not muted now, so. Good evening, Kenzie Newhoff. How are you doing?
Good evening, guys.
Aye. Is it as hot in Holland as it is in the UK at the minute? It's boiling here.
Well, to be honest, my room is like a nuclear reactor at the moment, so yes, probably.
I don't want to know why. It sounds dangerous. But what isn't dangerous is your performance tonight. Fantastic racing in both races. Highly competitive. Put your car in some really sticky situations for other people. Took it to Simon and came out on top in the second race. it was a different set of tactics, really. You seem to not take on a lot of fuel in that second race, but before you get to that, talk me through the first race.
Yeah, first race was a bit of it was a bit interesting with the contact there with Vincent, unfortunately, but luckily it didn't damage my car at least too bad. So I could get after Simon, but yeah, with these cars, when you just get behind someone, the rear tires just overheat, and you just can't do anything when we're like so closely matched, you know. So it was a bit annoying. So I had to settle there for a second, but yeah, overall the second race went a lot better. So yeah.
Yeah, second race. Pit stop with a very short pit lane stationary time, just 20 seconds, or no, nearly 21 seconds. That's a lot less fuel than others, so you were obviously fuel saving at points in the race. You did a masterful job of it, though.
Yeah, it was mostly because of Tyler being in front of me the entire time, so I could
Right.
lift off and lift and coast off like a lot. So yeah, that's why I was basically making the mileage at the end there. And that really helped me when Simon came along. So yeah, fortunately then ended up in a contact again, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, and third place overall in the championship, I think. Clyde, can you confirm that? Yeah, third.
That's correct.
And a really good racing season. Are you joining us again for season 14?
I guess this is a sort of retirement call.
You what?
A retirement call? No.
No,
Announcement? No.
no.
No, I'm not. I'm not planning to do another season at the moment. Unless Gen 3 comes out, then I might. But I think I found this enough now. So
Okay.
who knows?
Yeah, well, hopefully you'll change your mind on that one and join us regardless of Gen 3, but that has to be your decision and you've got to do what's right for you. But it's been so entertaining having you as part of our leagues. It's been wonderful to watch you, and you've done some amazing racing. Congratulations on your third place in the championship and for your race win tonight, and the second place in race one. Kennedy Newhoff.
Thank you, and yeah, thank you for all the time, for all the broadcasts you guys made, and our partners, of course, and yeah, for the fun battles and everything. So yeah, who knows?
Cool.
See ya.
See ya.
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Right, I'll tell you what, I'll do you a favour and I'll take the short straw. Tyler Newitt, welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Hello, how the devil are you?
I've been better.
Okay, so we wasn't expecting to see you tonight because we thought you would be, or you said you'd be watching Le Mans. I'm guessing you've been doing a bit of both.
Yeah, I had the broadcast in my ears the whole time, so.
Yeah, I must admit the last time I see it, there was about 73 crashes and they were just under yellow flags. But anyway, let's talk about the racing so you can get back to watching that. Race one, fantastic battle there with Stephen Phillips, but ultimately couldn't find a way past him.
Yeah, the first race I ran, Max Wing, I was just what I was comfortable with, and I thought I had qualified well enough that it would be all right. It wasn't. I could not pass. I should qualify that with I didn't pass anyone in the second race either, and I took all the wing out. So it's mostly a track thing, I think. But yeah, it was. There's essentially one place you can pass if someone doesn't make a mistake, and it's very, very hard, and you have to be very confident. And I had not done enough practice to be very confident going into the hairpins. So I tried it a couple of times on Steven, I think, and we came together both times, and it was, yeah, he knew where to put the car. Credit, he was super quick today and certainly deserved that and the race 2 podium. So, yeah, just couldn't get through.
And race 2, you seem to pit very, very early.
Yeah, it's last time I listened to Adam when he says the pit window's open. So,
yeah, it for me it was at least a couple of laps early.
Well, you find it interesting, don't you, that Adam tells me the pit window's open and then he doesn't pit. Seems a little strange, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially as he was, I think, the last person to pit as well. But it looks like towards the end of that race, as well as obviously you had to do some fuel saving, it looked like your tyres were absolutely shot. I think I followed you for a whole lap, and I don't think there was a corner that you came out of where you didn't go sideways.
The tires weren't terrible. I had one bad lap, which was the lap that Steven got through. That was tough. But otherwise, the tires were all right. I was really, really saving hard. When I came out of the pits, I was 3 laps short, and I oversaved by half a lap. So but yeah, no, the tires weren't terrible. I just once Steven got through and Jamie got through, you can't pass. And I would, the tires were certainly older, so there was less grip coming out of the corners, but it wasn't undrivable by any means.
BSTV Esports Green, second in the team championship, and you guys are right in it up until a couple of weeks ago. The main championship aside, do you think that's something that you guys can concentrate on winning next season?
I don't know. I was just saying my fall has suddenly filled up, so I feel like it's probably not going to be a full season for me again. It's going to be hopefully closer to it than this one, but we'll have to see. But we definitely have the pace. I think when Adam and I are on it, we can outscore Team Chimera, but it's I don't know. Does Pete have a flock of angry crows in his room
I
or
know,
something?
it's been like it all night. Yeah.
It's yeah. I think Adam and I and Rob too, to be fair, can bring it to Chimera on the days when we're on it. It's just a matter of being there and being on it, and if we can, I think we definitely have a shot. But it'll have to see how often we can make it.
Okie dokie. So, any shout outs you want to give at the end of the season before we let you go?
Yeah, first off, to everyone who raced this season. I know the field got a little tough as people got busy at the end, but it's still a really great group to race with, and that that lead pack is just crazy. Everyone's fast and everyone's competitive, and everyone pretty much races cleanly for the most part, so that's really great. Shout out to them. You guys for doing the broadcast, of course. Simability for sponsoring the series. Yeah, it's and of course Adam and Rob and JB and whoever else joined in for a race here or there this season. It's always good to have people to chat with during the race, even if they give you bad fuel information.
Excellent. Well, you've got a whole month to rib him for that one before we go again. So, congratulations on a fairly successful season. And I think you were very true there. In flashes, you've shown some absolutely great pace, and we look forward to seeing you again next season. Tyler Newitt.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Okay, you're gonna get Alex Sevillano Lado because Vincent is still muted.
Good evening, Alex. How you doing?
Hey guys.
Caught him on the hop there, Clyde. So, talk us through your first race first before we start talking about anything else. Go on.
I don't want to talk about my first race.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was
awful.
Right, fair enough. In that case, race 2. You.
Yeah, well, let's just say my start was okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Good start. Always a big tick in the box. Second race, you started right at the very front. You were dicing it up with Rob Venn for quite a long time, exchanging that first place position at the front of at one point an 11 car train for first place. And then pit stops happened and other things happened. Tell us about your race.
Well, yeah. I knew it would be hard to come on top, starting from pole on this track and with such a massive gain from fuel saving.
Yeah.
So I knew from the beginning I would even be happy to get a bad start and have a slipstream. So yeah, you asked me the other day how I plan my races, and yeah, I was just waiting to see what happened after race start. But I knew it was pretty in a bad spot because indeed I didn't have such a big pace to pull away. I had more than what I was showing, but it would be like 2-3 tenths per lap faster at that moment, or maybe 4, but no more than that. So I was trying to fuel save as much as I could, just in the spots where it was hard to overtake for the cars behind. And so yeah, Rob and the whole pack was like closing up. I was hoping maybe in one of those closing up, someone would throw the car and I don't know, a bit of chaos, and I would generate a gap for myself. But nothing happened. Everyone was just fuel saving and all. So yeah, at some point I made a mistake, and then Rob got E1, and I knew I could overtake him right away, but I just wanted to feel safe. So yeah, that worked fine for me. But then yeah, right after the pit stop, I thought it was Vincent's fault when it happened. I was pretty pissed, but then I watched the replay after race finished, and yeah, I think it was my fault because I just moved too late. We moved at the same time, but I saw in the mirror he was coming so fast, such an overspeed, that I thought, okay, I'll move to the inside because yeah, he's just flying. I thought he would brake on the outside and do like the over and under, you know.
Yeah,
And
cut back.
yeah, I was just so slow that I wanted to move away, but we moved exactly at the same time, so that just destabilized everything. And yeah, from that point on, it was just boring race.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it, when you're chasing again? And what was the cause of your second pit stop?
Meatball with Vincent.
Oh, the meatball with Vincent. Oh, you got meatballed. God, right. I didn't realise that. Okay.
Yeah, it was weird.
Right, so that explains that one. It's been a fantastic season having you in here. You've finished the season in 5th, which is brilliant. Considering the quality of races that are behind you in the series, it's been wonderful watching you race, and also wonderful your contribution to BSTV in general with driving our Twitter account and getting us back up in people's social media. So can't thank you enough for that. In terms of the team, where did Hydra Race finish? They finished in 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, again, really good. 200 points behind NQR Europe, so, knocking on the door of a podium there for the team standings. Are you going to be joining us for season 14 as a racer? Mackenzie doesn't sound too confident about it. I'm going to word it that way. But we've seen Kenzie change his mind before. Are you going to still join us for Hydra Race in V8s?
Well, not season 14 at least, because I'll be on vacation for most of the time. So I just rather not take part of it and compromise. You know, like just say yeah, I will participate and then not be there for half the rounds or more. So I guess I'll just stick to running the socials and helping you guys. And yeah, I'll also Kenzie, if he's not racing, I will most likely not race because I don't think we'll have any other teammate to race with. So yeah, probably aiming for Gen 3 cars or in like 2 seasons we'll be back if possible.
Okay. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and sort out all our Twitter messages?
Well, yeah, the usual. You already know it. So you guys, of course, because without this league, I wouldn't be thanking anyone. And Simability, Hydro Race, Dan from Hydro Race, at life. Kenzie, great teammate. He's super fast and he deserves a better teammate, faster. And yeah, my girlfriend, I guess, for supporting me and yeah, standing me being here so many hours that she doesn't like. And yeah, my friends from the Team Rocket, never give them a shout out. But, yeah, they're just assholes. But yeah, there you go. Shout out to them.
Cool, awesome stuff. In that case, congratulations on your what was it, 5th? I can't remember now. Yeah, 5th place in the Simability Cup, and thanks for great racing this season, Alex Lado.
Thank you, guys. See you soon.
Okay, so last but not least, can we tempt him out of being muted? Yes, we can.
Hello.
It's Vincent Skilbeck. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Hello. Right, so this is going to be harsh. Top in practice. Second in qualifying, although you was on pole till right near the end. And then it all went tits up.
Yep. Sounds about right.
No, me and Pete, obviously because we are the most intelligent people that we know, we sort of guessed that you was going to be quick round here, being an Australian track, and you proved us right. Just didn't happen for you in either race, did it?
Yeah, nah. I did a bit of practice this week. I think I've finally found something in the setup that a bit quick. But yeah, just a few little incidents at the start of the race kind of didn't help me. So yeah, that's as it goes.
It's one of those tracks, isn't it? When all the cars are bunched up, if something happens, the likelihood that you're going to get collected by somebody is quite high.
Yeah, I had a look back at the first incident with Kenzie. I think it was race 1. And on my screen, it just looked like it was a really, really big net code.
It looked the same to us.
Which was kind of annoying, but I can deal with that. So yeah.
Yeah, but overall, let's have a look. Where did you finish? Oh, I've got to scroll quite a way down. 11th in the
11th.
championship. Yeah. But I don't think that's a true reflection on how well you've raced this season, to be honest. I just think you've either been right at the top or absolutely nowhere. Not consistently. Even if you have a bad race, you're last. Whereas other drivers, if they have a bad race, they manage to claw it back to mid pack. Is there anything that you can do to improve that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've just got to back off a little bit more. I think this season it was just one of those seasons where I think I was the car that gonna have all the incidents. I think I've counted like 3, maybe 4 races where I've just either made a mistake or someone's just run into me and destroyed my race from the start. But yeah, maybe it's just a case of me just backing off and not actually trying hard to keep spots or be quick. Maybe it's just a little bit more practice, but yeah, I don't know. I'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. New season starts 15th of July. What are the chances of you getting up at stupid o'clock in the morning and carrying on with us?
Yep. I will be doing another season. Because of my job, my body clock is happy to be awake at this time of the night. So not really a big issue for me anymore, so that's good. So yeah, I'll be definitely joining in next season.
Okay, so Vincent is obviously a stripper or a man whore. And any chances of talking any other wheelie bins into getting up at a silly o'clock? We would love to see you have a teammate.
Yeah, I could try drum up some support. I don't know if how many would actually want to get up at that time. I know there's a couple like Jamie Knight that has been in here before.
Yeah, we've had
I don't know if
Mike
he would want to come back. But yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Okie dokie. Well, it's always a pleasure watching you race because there's never a dull moment. You're not one of those drivers that just turns up, plods around, and finishes. There's always action with you. So I hope you're with us for many seasons to come. Are there any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, you guys for the broadcast, everyone that turned up this season, a pretty good season. Even though the numbers dropped off towards the end, it was still good to see people turning up. Simability for sponsoring this season again. All the guys over at Willie Bins that keeps us going. And one last thing, I have to say sorry to Ant for punting him off and putting him into the wall. That's it.
Don't worry about it, mate. He's quit already, but he'll be back next season. So, and he's used to it. And he's Welsh, and he actually enjoy. He told me once that he really enjoys it when he gets punted off. So take that as a plus point. Well, I say, always a pleasure, Vincent. We do appreciate you turning up for these, and we'll see you next season.
Yeah, catch you guys next season.
Right, so the interviews are longer than the races.
Yeah. Did we miss Adam in the interviews?
Oh shit! Yeah. Do you want to talk to him?
Go on then.
Go on then.
Good evening, Adam. How are you doing?
Fine. Yeah. Thanks for keeping me waiting.
That's okay. We like to please everybody.
You really didn't get in the call.
I wouldn't be surprised. To be fair, I don't even know why I'm here because I've got nothing to say. I had an awful race and pretty embarrassing, really.
Race 1. That was the. I mean, you can't say that about race 2, but let's talk about race 1.
We didn't do a race 1. What are you on about?
Oh, right, yeah, right. We'll skip that one. Race 2, however.
Everybody else did.
Yeah, but I think we're skipping over that. So race 2 happened, and it was a last to first challenge. And you did pretty good. You got 10 places up the field. You were the last car to pit. You gave some dodgy pit information to Tyler and made him pit earlier than he should have done. That's his story.
Really hope you did that on purpose.
It would be funny if you did, to be fair. So we are hopeful.
I'm saying nothing.
And finished 4th from last in a field like this. That's mega impressive. Was that like a fuel save-a-thon, or what was your pit time? Your pit time was quite quick, actually. Yeah. Tell us about that race.
It kind of carried on in the kind of style of the race that never happened for me, and I was just doing really bad. Kind of dropped off the back and couldn't catch up, so I thought the only thing I can do is fuel save. And then just run it dry, really, because I had no idea what else to do. I really just, completely off colour today, so didn't know what to do.
Okay. Well, off colour and 4th. Imagine what you're like when you're on colour. You finished 6th in the championship overall. You weren't that far behind Alex Lado, actually, points wise. You've had a really good season in terms of the team. 2nd in the championship to Team Chimera. Sorry?
3 times in a row, 4 times in a row. We've come 2nd in the teams now, so I think we're a bit tired of coming 2nd now.
Well, maybe you need to have a little review of what you can do a little bit differently. We've asked a few that question of a few of the drivers that have come in tonight, because season 14 happens in a month. It's going to be an exciting one. Hopefully, we can attract some more racers to it. We always get good starting grids at the start of the season, big grids at the start of the season. They do tail off at the end, but that's true of every league we've ever run. It's been entertaining, let's say the least. I did think in the first race that you'd been sponsored by John Deere, because you spent that much time going over the grass and through the sand traps and things. I thought you were on Farm Simulator or something, but apparently not. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you disappear, or do you want to talk more about race 2?
No, not really. Shout out to Woody because I killed him race 1, and then he got killed in the same corner race 2. So yeah, it's a shame for him. He always, has the bad luck, it seems.
I blame the corner because he got wiped out there the last time we raced here, on that corner as well, if I remember right.
Do you know what? Actually, yeah, I'm going to take it all back then. I think it's Woody's fault.
Yeah,
It's
think
got to
so.
be.
Yeah.
So, okay,
It's
take that back.
driver corner combination thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, I only jumped in here to be fair, just to say thanks to all the drivers for turning up, amazing racing with everyone, and to thank you guys for putting on the league and putting up with us, I suppose.
Awesome stuff. We will see you next season then, driving on the grass and through the sand traps. Adam Wright, everybody.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. So, nearly time to wrap this up, Pete. We know Simon Trendle won the overall championship. We know Team Chimera won the team championship. We know Rob Venn took away the Logan Jackson Safe Driver Award, and we know Simon Trendle won the Fred Bingham Forever Forward Award. However, the one they all want to win, the most important championship, is down to me and you. So, your driver of the evening, Pete.
Well, I've thought about this quite thoroughly. Kenzie's done
2 seconds.
It does. Kenzie has done really well in both races. He's got himself a nice tidy win there. He is very fast. He's very dynamic, and he's had a good race week. And then I think Stephen Phillips, he's done really well tonight. Yes, it's been at the misfortune of some of the other drivers as well, mixed in. But it's a good result. Jamie Wilson's been strong. And then I think behind that, there's some strong driving, but there's some incidents involved back there as well. I think my vote tonight, and it's going to have no effect on anything at all, is going to be Stephen Phillips. I think he did just did really well.
To be honest, that's not a bad call. I sort of echo your thoughts. Simon Trendle, yeah, he made a mistake. That takes him out of it for me. Kenzie, a couple of really good results. Jamie Wilson with a bit of a stealth drive. Like you say, Stephen Phillips, cracking second drive. Do you know what? I really don't want to do this, but I'm going to. For 2 reasons. One, to prove you wrong, and 2, to agree with you. I'm going to give my vote to Stephen Phillips as well. And
Right.
weirdly, that means that this season we have joint drivers of the season, with 4 votes each, Stephen Phillips and Tony Kloosterman. So congratulations to both of them for taking away the most coveted prize in motor racing.
It's a good
well
job.
done.
It's a good job we put 2 handles on that trophy, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to wrap the season up, Pete, yes, we have been short of numbers. However, overall, we have still had 22 drivers taking part. I think the racing has been absolutely fantastic. As everybody knows, we've already planned the next season. So I would personally like to thank all the drivers that have shown up and put on this fantastic racing for us to watch and commentate on. Also, everybody that's joined us on the chat, I know I say it every week, but you guys make us laugh, you make us cry, you make us sigh. You also point out all the bits that we miss because we're busy talking about food or spiders having sex or something like that. So that is really appreciated. Obviously, a massive shout out to Simability for the sponsorship. And a big thanks to Pete as well, because I've had a few health issues this season, and Pete has managed to keep everything running. And therefore, we are still here and still doing this. And, I'm still getting to 10 o'clock at night, and my bladder is absolutely killing me. So, without Pete keeping everything going, that wouldn't have happened. That's sort of it from me. Let me hand over to Pete and see what he's got to say, and then we'll get the broadcast closed.
Yeah, thanks for that, Clyde. That means a lot. Thanks to everybody that watched, to all the racers and the participants, and everybody's doing something in the background because, as Clyde said, a bit of a bumpy ride for a couple of months, and the community of racers in BSTV pulled together and helped me out in no small part. So thanks to all those people. You do know who you are, and some of you are still there doing those things. It's been a blast. This season's been great. We've had some of the best racing I think I can remember. And let's roll that into season 14, which, as Clyde just said, starts July 15th. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the not-too-distant future.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Thanks for watching, and see you all soon.